Hmm?
Am I going to be walking around?
No. You don't need to. You will not walk around.
And so that I will not be altering the video. That's what I said. Let me know
No,
how to
you will not walk around. No. Come be my cameraman. Call me. Say this. Sorry.
No problem.
Life already.
No, the camera is not okay. You need to leave. You need to lift it up.
No. The charger will not go. Is it not charged?
I feel life already.
Eh, but your face on the show.
Is it okay?
No. See now his face is cut off.
I will go to Zoom.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So people, this is African to minor African people. So in today's class we will talk about how we talk about this kinky before we start using it for production. So there are two ways you can use this kinky for production. Firstly, I will teach you how to separate the kinky. You must separate it. And please don't come to my video. Yeah. Don't go there.
You don't step out.
Yes. I'm going to go back. Okay, not sure. So you learn how to open the distance. So when you buy a key, first thing you're going to see is this net covering it like this. So when you open the net, you understand how the hair flows. So if you check, I'm not forcing it to open. So you first separate it like this. So separate it. When you separate it that way. Now sometimes if you are lucky, you are opening 30 grams, you can actually separate it into 8 healthy pieces. Sometimes 7, sometimes 6. It depends on how you separate it. But the separation is the first main thing. So there are levels at which if you separate this thing, the logs will be scattered. So in that case, you try to separate it in a way it's going to be a bit thicker. Understand? So that when you're opening the logs, so the whole idea of logs extension is to connect all these hair together to form healthy logs. So to do that, like what I'm having here now, assuming the thing is thicker, let's say like this, I can divide it into 4. You get me? So, but this one now, what I'm seeing now, I'm dividing it into 2 based on the length I want to do. So for you, in case you are doing your own, you can divide it to a number of ways you want to know how it will serve you. So for instance, a pack can give you from 18 to 20 pieces of 6 inches. 6 inches. If you're doing 6 inches, a 30 grams half one kilo should give you 18 to 20 strands. But worst case scenario, if your logs is very thick, like, because we have what we call diameter, we have what we call length. Now diameter is talking about the thickness of the logs, while length is talking about the length of the logs. So if you are doing a 0.6, diameter, then you should be aiming at 19-20 pieces. But if you are doing a 0.8 diameter and 1 centimeter diameter, you are going to have around to maybe 12, 16. So I'm going to show you the different sizes then before we move. So these are already existing samples. Like this is 1.4 centimeter. So this is the diameter I'm talking about, thickness. All of these are 6 inches, but the diameter is different. And this is 1.2, this is 1, centimeter, and this is 0.8 centimeter. So these ones now are named diameter. That's the sizes. So what we're doing there, we have bigger ones, more and more. It depends on what we want to achieve. But for today's class, we're going to talk about 0.6 diameter, and this one now is falling around 0.4. So we still have 0.2, we still have 0.1. So that's 0.2, 0.1, they are sister logs for the Locs extension. They don't want to have their own method of making it. I'm going to tell you how you're going to achieve them. But for today's class, we want to talk about it. So if you're new to this channel, we'd like you to share, subscribe, and remain blessed. So I want to show you two methods on how you're going to mold these logs by hand. So here we may have a single mold and double mold. So these two have their method of making logs. So if you look closely, the first thing you need to do is you try to mold this thing. What I'm doing now is I'm distributing the hair so that it will distribute evenly, because a part is not supposed to be scanty, a part should, try to distribute it evenly. Then after you distribute it evenly, you look at it. Which side, which end is the weaker end? This side is looking weaker than this side. So this should be your tail, and this should be your head. The reason is because this head is going to be the connector that will connect it to the person's hair. You get me? So you try as much as possible to make sure that the hair around there is connected to the whole body, so that when you finish making the extension, this place, even when you try to pull it, it's not going to pull out. But when you use the weaker end, if you finish and want to pull it, you see it will be pulling out. So it makes the log not to have an healthy head altogether. So for the double pin, I'll start with the double pin, and I'm starting from the weaker end. This is how you do it. So you can first start by molding the bigger size. So what you're just doing is you are putting this pin in, out, in, out, in, out on a straight line. You are not bending, you are not doing anything. So while you are doing it, you are spinning this other hand in, out. You don't need to press it, you don't need to be too tight. You can do the first layer that way. So you can see very good molding. So just doing it now. So if you are used to it, you discover that your speed is coming very fast. So I'm doing it this way because of their length. So you won't see magic happening. So you need to make sure the head too is connected, because you can't do one side and one side where it's going to flow. So now you can see that I've already formed a particular sense. So now, how you make the logs is going to matter the diameter. So if you want it now to be 0.6, this is where you now focus on it. This is now the real starting point. Now I'm going to focus your hand. This finger is what you do the molding. It's what you do the molding. So you make sure that your hand is molding the particular size you want, and you're starting from the root. If you are looking closely, you will see that my hand is just spinning. So for the sake of those that are watching online, let me look closely so that you can see it. Is it on track? So this is it. You just keep it like this while you are spinning. So I will take it slow so that you understand what I'm doing. What I'm doing is that you see this pin. Once it comes out like this a little, push it back again, it come out a little. Then you turn. Then you turn. Then you turn. So while you keep doing that, you discover that that size there is So you just focus and make sure that that place gives you the size you want. So when you're used to it, you discover that naturally you know the size by hand. You know the size of what you want by hand. Or maybe since you are seeing it physically, you should be aiming at that size. Sometimes there might be a case whereby you finish molding and you discover that maybe your own is a bit thicker than the 0.6. There are other ways to maneuver it. So this is how you do it by hand. So you can see it's molding. So this is the size I want to get. So now I just keep following up like that. So don't mind me if I'm going to be fast now. So while you are molding it, some things might happen. Like, for instance, if you are molding, there might be a place whereby the hair is not full enough. So in that place, what do? You drag back some hair and do it so that that place will be full. Anywhere that you experience scanty hair, don't just mold that place. Try as much as possible to drag hair back. Sometimes you can even change your pin this direction. Change your pin this direction just to drag hair back like this. Sometimes you do like this. You do like this and drag hair back. That's in the case whereby the thickness is slim, yes. You can just change your pin to that direction and drag hair back. You also do like this and drag hair back. So once the hair is back intact, then you continue your molding. And there's a case whereby the particular spot will be too full. What you do is you pull out. You pull out. So you keep doing it that way. You must try to maintain the fullness. You must try to maintain the fullness, else the locks will not form properly. Or some places will be fat, some places will be slim. Now if you are checking my head, normally if you are producing loss extension, the head is supposed to give at least 1 to 2 centimeter extra. You're supposed to have 1 to 2 centimeter extra because there are different methods of installation. Some people install by some people make their extension and there's no head, while some do it like this same way. They install this same way. Some people install in another way. So maybe in my next class I'll show you how to install Locs extension, but for now let's learn how to make the extension. So anyway, if you discover it's too fat, you go back and work on that place. You just keep going straight. You don't need to press hard, because if you press hard, you'll be struggling with the pin to come out. You will not press hard, you'll be struggling with the pin to come out. So what this thing is doing, let me explain the mathematics here. This pin, this hand is the one holding it. This hand is the one doing the magic. If what you're doing now is you're doing like this, it's as if there was a iron hanging somewhere. Then you went with this hand and was doing like this. Are you seeing it? But anytime you try to start using this hand to do the magic, you discover it becomes very hard. So what you do, you keep this hand stiff. Use this hand. I said, press it in and out like this. You are turning it. In and out, you are turning it. In and out, you are turning it. That's what's happening. You guys are disrupting my videos.
Focus on your video now, but watch it.
So, are you seeing it? So when you're done, you can actually choose to trim. If you believe in your work, you can trim. There is a trimmer. You can either use your scissors or you use the Locs trimmer. So in this video I'm using my scissors. So after you trim, the trimming should not be too deep, just a light trimming. So after you trim, the next thing you do is to massage. This massaging does a lot of magic. So this is it. So this is the Locs extension. You want to check it out? So that's how easy it is. So we're going to do the second method. Now the second method with the single head pin. All of them serve. So in time you will determine which one works best for you. But it's good you know how to use it too. Most of the times this pin is actually good for when you are doing weak locks. This single pin is very nice for weak locks. And that particular method, this particular in and out method is good for weak locks. But when you are making extension or when you are interlocking, sorry, when you are doing co-chain, like maybe somebody wants to do co-chain, you want to maintain his lock with co-chain, this single pin is the master of it all.
So can you show us weak locks?
Weak locks. This is weak locks. This weak lock. So when you are trying to put this in order, this method, this in and out, is best. But in a case whereby you have someone that is already installed on the person's head, for weak locks, you can actually use this. But for something of this size, let's say 8 centimeter, this centimeter, and this, you can use this method I want to teach now. So let me show you. Now this method is like this. Are you seeing what I'm doing? So what is happening here now is that when this pin is going down, it has the head and the back. Okay, let's say it has the front and back. You see where this number is showing, you discover that the hook is facing up. Then where the back here is, the hook is facing down. So when you are under here, when you're going under here, let the hook be facing up. And when you are up here, let the hook be facing down. So that's how it works. So let me show you. What you do is it's like you are bringing out air from under. You take it up, bring it out. It's as if you are doing knitting. It's as if you are doing knitting, but the turning should not be really a sharp turn, just a minor turn. The whole idea is for it to be able to bring in hair and be mating them together. That's the whole idea of this method. So if you are good with it, this one too can serve. So always start it in a light way first before you come back to focus on the particular length you want to get. Can you see what I'm doing? So we go again. So this is how you do it. In, out, in, out, in, out. But make sure that it's going up, down, up, down, up, down. That way the hair is going to lock, and you maintain your flow. You don't jump. You maintain your flow, your size, your thickness, and you also spin the hair. So some other persons, they can actually do like this. For extension making, it's okay. But when you are interlocking somebody there, you can't do like this. What you do is, you must do this method because the hair is already, the lock is already firm, you understand? So when you're trying to lock somebody's root, you always carry hair and bring them on each other. You getting it? So that's how you do it. So now let's take our time to make this one right. One thing I love about this method is that it makes locks very flexible.
Makes it soft, similar as thick as this.
Very flexible, yes. That's a good thing about this particular method. It makes it very flexible, and also, maybe for instance, somebody installed the hair and he wants to still use the extension. So, like for instance, you install your hair, then you happen to cut a part of the extension. Use the other to get another head. That's why this method is actually good. But when you use the other method I just showed you, you can't. As you are losing, is breaking because it does a lot of tangling than this one. This one just carries hair and wrap on top of each hair, and before you know it, it creates the whole stuff you need. So when you're doing it, try as much as possible not to be turning your wrist too much, because if you turn your wrist, you have serious problem here. So it's just a light turn. Sometimes the turning can be from your hand here. You can just be doing like this. Save it. So that way it will be working.
But it seems like this one is taking more time than the other one.
No, it's not taking time because I'm actually teaching you guys. Because this was the method I started with before I entered that method. But where I am, there's not much of crocheting. It's palm rolling or interlocking. So, but when you're installing with crocheting method, you must know this time. It's good you know everything so that at least when time comes for application, you will not be left out. You see? But honestly, that other method is actually faster than this method.
Okay.
Very fast. When you're making extension, it's double. When you're making extension, it's fast. But when you are interlocking or you're locking somebody's hair, this other method is the only method you can use. Because the level of damage that can cause is way higher than the level of damage this can cause. You can see it, right? So if you say that one is very fast, why am I learning this one? Like I said, in the case of maintenance, and they ask to do crocheting, this method is what you use. But for the sake of making an extension, that method is very fast. I can actually use a simple one to achieve that thing, but I do want to do it. I want you to know how to use this simple one for other things. So we do it, we also massage. Massage and check. Now you see this is a bit thicker. It's 0.8. Gives me 0.8. So if I still want to reduce the size, just to go in and keep doing it and make it tight. So when I make it tight, the size reduces, but it's going to stretch. Because the more tight it becomes, the more it stretches. So
I can ask questions.
yes, you can ask questions.
So does it mean, or can I say the amount of material you fetch, the kinky material you fetch, can you determine the diameter of the locs? Because you divided two to get this one. What if I'm to divide it into three?
Okay. For instance, if you want to build a house, you know the number of bags of cement you use to build a house, right? And you know the bags of cement you use to build a one-bedroom is different from a bag of cement you use to build a two-bedroom. So that moment that you have the hair together, from the quantity, you know, first thing I told you is about molding. First thing you do is molding. And when you are molding, maybe you are aiming at getting 8 inches. When you mold the hair, the first thing you notice is that the length is it up to 8 inches? I guess, or is it close to 8 inches? If it's close to 8 inches, then you know that okay, you are aiming at 8 inches. Then next thing you're going to be checking now, if I squeeze this thing hard, if I lock this thing very tight, is it going to give me 0.8 diameter, or is it going to give me 1 centimeter diameter. So when you check all those things, you will now know that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. How do you know that? Maybe for instance, this part now that is loose, if I do like this, watch, if I do like this, are you saying that this is what it's going to give to me? This is the size I'm going to get if I lock it very tight. So this is telling me that if I make it very, very tight, I'm going to have 0.8. So when you're going to have 0.8, it means that the hair is going to be very long. Are you getting it? So the question you ask now is it that the material, how are you going to know?
Yeah, for example, from the material now, like you that initial one you use.
Yes.
What if I want to get 0. Let me say 0.4.
Okay.
Can I as well divide that into 3 instead of me dividing it into 2?
Like I said, let me explain something to you before I continue. Don't worry. So what you're asking now is that if this is here, can you divide it into 3, 1 to 2, to get the same result?
Yeah.
Like I said, before you divide, you know the number of cement you are using to build a house. I guess from this one, nobody needs to tell you that this quantity you are fetching is already going to give you a particular size. Are you getting it? I can actually want to do something like this now, and I will just decide to use the whole of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm using the whole of this, what am I aiming at? To get this. So my own calculation should be, no matter how hard I squeeze this thing, what size am I going to get? Are you seeing it? So if this side is too big for you, you reduce. So the slimmer dread you want to get depends on the quantity of materials you're going to use. So are you getting my description? Do you understand it now? So this one now you're saying that I fetch. If I want to get it again, since I know the quantity I fetch, okay, looking at this, what quantity do you think I can fetch from this? Are you seeing it? This quantity can give me this from the magic. Now, looking at it now, it's okay. There are still more left. So I cannot really say this is the basic amount you need to be fetching from anyone you separate. You just have to take a quantity that you know can give you what you are aiming at. Is that question solved? So, any other question?
Okay. I'll ask you one question. When you do 4 mm, 4 cm now, and you want to take it to, you've already done it like this.
Okay.
I want to take it to 8 cm.
That you're talking about the diameter?
Yes. Yeah, not there. Let's continue the production first. Let me not go ahead of myself.
No, part of the
you're asking
question.
questions part of the class, so we want to know so that we know how to.
Okay, if you want to increase the size after you've already made it, you want to increase the size.
Okay.
You now add extra material on this one.
So now, if you talk about you want to increase the size,
After you have already produced.
after you have produced a particular smaller length,
you want to increase diameter.
okay, this is what happens. There's something we call merging.
Okay.
There's something we call merging. Now, for instance, maybe I have a lot of 0.6 diameter, and people are coming to me that they want to. They just called me on phone that, hey, I need a 1 centimeter diameter. Maybe I produce this size and somebody calls me that, hey, you want this size. What do I do at that point? At that point, what I would expect you to do is, if you don't want, because now this is going to cost you a particular amount. Let's say, for instance, this is 1,500 naira, and this one now is going to be, let's say, 8,000 naira for a strand. Do you know that to get this now is going to cost you like, you're going to use like, let's say 7 to 8 of this to get this. So now it will be in your common sense to tell you that if you are going to multiply 1,500 times 8, it will cost you to combine this one more to get this. instead of you using a whole raw material to achieve this. Are you getting it now? So in that form, I think when you want to go to a bigger size, always have a mental picture of what you are building. That's why there's always an architect before building. So always have a picture of what you want to achieve before you start doing them. So if you want to do a bigger size, picture your mind that whatever thing you'll be doing for that day is what a bigger size. But if there's a state of emergency you want to do, you can actually use this pin this same way. Let me that way. You can actually use this pin and connect. And according to Chris MC Dread, he said it would be an error for you to join 2 locks together. So it can only join 3, 5, 9. Why is this so? Because you need to have a round effect. Now, if you join these 2, it's going to have a flat end. True or false? Now, you know when you're joining them like this place will be flat, this place will be flat, this place will be. So you need another one to come in here to make it a round effect. And that time that is going to take you to make this one, a whole single one, this one will take you like 3 times that time.
So it's best to just start afresh.
So it's just best to start afresh. But if you want to stress it, you will use the same method, that first method I showed you there, to merge it together.
But
Sometimes, okay, let me show you how you do that. Since you insist you want to know it. No, I'm coming. Okay. It's possible. I'm saying it because
it's stressful. That's what he's trying to say.
I'm saying it because of people online so that they will understand that it's possible. It shouldn't look like it's not possible.
No, but I'm just saying, what if you use the ordinary material to
to wrap on it and
yes, to increase.
That's what I'm saying. When you wrap on it, and
not on the 2, on just the 1.
When you wrap on it,
yes, sir,
it still takes you time to start putting it
okay.
in. And when you are putting it in, this one is in between already. It's already in between. So it's going to be causing you stress to pull out the pin because it's already firm. So for it to be pulling out the pin, it will come out. If I don't want to waste my time because my chair is very expensive. If not, I would have said, okay, let's do it. You can't expect that I finish molding this one completely and you now say, okay, you want the size to get and I rub. Normally, if you want to do a sample on hair, do you pick the whole hair to do sample? No, you pick a portion of the hair to sample out what the person wants. If the person says, okay, I like this size, then you start, you continue with the production. If the person says, I want it bigger, you do another sample and show. You get it? That's why we have different options and different diameters. So you choose what you want. Then they produce.
Let's continue.
But there is a machine. Machine can actually smoothen the job for you. One hand, it will come out nice. But the difference between machine and hand is the flexibility and the level of breakage. Hand reduces the level of breakage, but machine breaks more. So before we finish this one, for people that are watching this, this man did not finish this thing. So anything I do, be deliberate about it. So sometimes, like I said, if you are working on locks like this and you discover that the size is becoming too thick, you can just stretch out. And it will be an error for you that when you finish making locks, you now touch one part, you see that that part is scanty. It means that locks has deformed. The locks has deformed. So that you just have to do another one. So it means that as you are molding, you are always checking every point to make sure that the thickness is even, everything is even. Are we good with that? So after you're done with this one, still go in and trim. If you wish, trim. So after you trim, massaging is the final solution. Avoid using product because if you are producing to sell, people will think it's product that's actually making your sell. You can actually reduce more product. So this is it. This is Locs by hand. So one last one I'm going to show you now is locks by hand and machine. Now it's very, very, very important. Locks by hand and machine. What is the other pieces I was using before? Is it this one?
You know you finished it now.
There's one I fetched. Oh, okay, see it here.
Okay.
So now, when you want to use the machine to speed up your work, the first thing you need to do is you're going to mold this one just to give it that shape you want. Let's say you are aiming at 0.6 centimeter or 0.8. First thing you need to do is create head for it first. So this is the head you create. So after you create head for it, then you can just go in and do a light this thing. So I prefer to use this just the 2 pin to do a light work for it. Just bring it here. Just bring it. Just so that I'm not off the light again. Now what I'm doing here is just like I'm distributing the hair evenly, because when the hair is not tight together, when it's loose, when you pass it in the machine, you discover that the thing will be breaking. It will have scanty, full. So you have to use your hand to first make sure that the hair are packed together. They're not pulling out. They're not pulling out, they're packed together. So I'm beside it. So now this is the machine. This is the machine. Now why I do this method is because I'm using 8 inches African keyboard. Because this is the highest length. But when you want to use the machine more true, it's not like you can use the machine more true. You actually buy a longer African keyboard. That one, when you connect it to the machine, you are drawing it, you're going to work on any length you want to get. You get me? But when you're using a shorter one like this, you have to connect the hair together first before you sew. And when you have a longer kinky, you just to pass it inside of the machine and sew. So the head we're having in here now, this is 0.8. So I want to reduce it to 0.6. So this is, I think it's 1 centimeter, this is 0.8. So let's just do 0.8. So give me the and change the head. If you want to change, anytime you want to change the head, please always disconnect the machine. Because while you're doing that, you just make mistake and touch the button. Once you touch the button, when you are using this part, you might break your needle. So I need a normal crochet pin to pass it. So for instance, you are using this machine and you want to pass something into it. Normally it has this handle at the back here. This handle is to drag the needle from here backward so that the hair can pass freely. You see it's empty. You see it's empty. So now we do it like this. Don't worry. Do it like this and you pass it in. So when you pass it in, there's always a starting point. So you start So you don't press the machine for it to just go straight. You start, the machine now does what you are doing with your hand, like I'm trying to connect it back. What the machine is doing exactly what we use the 2 mouth pin to do 1,000,000 times in the space of an hour. So what you do is you tapping it. See? You're going back, tap. You see it? So after you finish tapping, then you can move slowly. I'll go back again. How many minutes does it take us to do the other one? And how many minutes is this machine doing? So the machine saves a lot of time. So you trim. So after you finish trimming, you massage. By machine. This is by single pin, and where's the other one? This is the other one. And this is by double pin. So now, if you're going to test their flexibility, look. You see? So now let me put them in their firm position. So this is by double pin, this is by single pin, and this is by meshing. So you can see that the single pin is more flexible than the double pin and than the meshing. And the double pin is more. Hello. AJ. That sound is going to palate my video. So that's how it works. So are we together? Does that explain everything? So any other question for qualification?
For the flexibility, if you dip all of them in water, they all become flexible.
No matter how flexible they are, this the single pin and the double pin, they tend to give you that real natural lock effect than the machine. Because now, you see this machine now, it has actually locked this hair to the level that if you try to use it, to start using it, you will not have another loose end like this. But with this single mount, this double head, so this is single head, you can have, if you're losing it, you can have another head, new head. That is, if you trim out this one, you can have another head. If you trim this one, you can have another head. But for this one, you can't have it. Secondly, you can see, look at this one. Can you see it? Look at this one. So this one now is so stiff that when you connect it, it's going to be bending the way you do it. So this one is always recommended. Anytime you're buying the quality, this goes. But the reason why we use mesh is just for fastness. That is just it. But I still recommend hand. But I believe with time, the machine that can achieve all of this. So is that all? Any other question? Are we done for station production? Does it mean that if I give you guys now to start doing it, you can achieve it? My material is expensive, so I'm not going to give it for free for you to start trying. So let's know. Say you can do it, then just donate one half portion for you. With this now, I expect 3, at least 3. With this, at least I expect 2. With this, I expect 2. And I want 8 inches. So I give you guys something that is fuller than my one longer. So we are going to be ending the class now. So thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. Get blessed like this every day. Bye.
Bye.